Game On is brought to you by Yoakum Ford and Schuylkill Valley Sports.
Welcome to this week's installment of Game On. I'm your host, Jeff Bideman. The district playoff picture is starting to come into focus for our boys and girls basketball teams, and the SOL Continental Wrestling Race is coming down to the wire. We'll have that and much more right here, right now on Game On. Kevin, welcome to the Game On studio.
Hi Jeff, how are you?
I'm all right. As the district playoff picture starts to come into focus, we have a couple of local teams that are vying for some top spots. Abington beat Pennsbury twice. That gives them the SOL National Conference title. Bigger question is, come playoff time, where does it put those two?
Yeah, if you look at Abington right now, probably going to be a top 5 seed, play their way into that role. The one thing that hurts them for a top 3 seed would be the loss to Archbishop Wood last Saturday, but really playing well at this point, coming together as a team. Pennsbury, though, on the other hand, did not play well against Conestoga on Saturday, really did not play well against Abington on Tuesday night. Really disjointed and everything. So I think Pennsbury could be slipping towards that 7-8 seed, where this time last week we're talking about them potentially as a number 1. And the third team in the National Conference of Watch, Council Rock North, kind of on the bubble there at 31-32. Need to win out to probably get in.
All right, Tuesday's the seeding meeting. I think if an outsider takes a look at all the seeds after the meeting, they might call it the SOL Continental Conference Invitational.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, you got the most depth coming from the Suburban One League is coming out of the Continental Conference. 5 or 6 teams will make it. None of them will be seeded particularly high. They're all probably in the most of them in the teens. Some of them in the late 20s, just going to get at the back end. But you could have 5 or 6 teams between Penn Ridge, CB South, CB West, CB East, Souderton, North Penn that could somehow get in. And I think that shows kind of the lack of depth within District 1 this year. It's not a good field in 4A.
All right, let's take a look at District 12 then. We got 3 teams, Conwell Egan, Archbishop Wood, LC. They're all in the playoff mix right now. The question is, do they all stay in that
Well,
mix?
let's take them one by one. Archbishop Wood is likely playing for the 4 or 5 seed because they're looking at potentially, a possible matchup against St. Joe Prep this weekend. The winner of that will probably be the 5. When you look at Conwell Egan probably playing to get a home playoff game in the first round. They'll probably be slotted around 7. The team on the bubble here is Lansdale Catholic, who's tied with McDevitt and Father Judge as we tape this on Thursday. LC really has a tough go of it. I think LC, I think is going to fall out of it. Good year for them, but I just don't see them making the tournament.
All right, now, final 5 before the district seeding meetings.
Yeah, it's always a little tricky here. Let's go with Abington, number 1. They've earned it after being Pennsbury twice. Second will be the Falcons, although they're sliding, really. Germantown Academy lost this week, but they're still number 3. Holy Ghost Prep looking like the number 1 seed in AAA. In District 1, they'll be 4. And Wood will be 5, but Wood is another one of those teams that Jeff is having a little trouble here as he comes down the stretch.
All right, now, we'll have a treat next week. Kevin will be joining us live from Clearwater, Florida, where he will be down covering the Phillies for Calkins Media. We'll look for a live report from Kevin. At that point, the district seeds and all those teams will be figured out, and it'll be a real interesting discussion.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Thanks, Kev. Let's go to Jen, who is at CB East with a dedicated group of student athletes who are determined to make a difference in their community through the Coaches vs. Cancer charity.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, the motto for the Coaches vs. Cancer campaign at CB West and CB East is 2 rivals, 1 cause. And although these schools really go at it in all sports, this campaign shows they can really come together when it counts. East and West united last Wednesday to pack the house at a basketball doubleheader and raise funds for the cause through merchandise sales and raffle tickets. On Saturday, the community will gather for a full-day fun basketball event at CB East.
It's new. This is the first time we're actually doing it completely, where we combine the West in our fundraising. But it's really cool to see. We're actually taking a picture before the game. Some of the players are like, "Oh, we don't want to do that." I'm like, "Come on, guys, it's for cancer." There's a bigger thing than just basketball.
It's almost like a dream come true, honestly. This, basketball means everything to me, but beyond basketball, there's so many things out there that just we all have to come together for. And this game, West and East, we all came together, and we even in the beginning, we took a picture side by side, because we know that there's a common cause that we got to win against cancer.
Student organizers expect Saturday's event, a basketball carnival featuring 3-on-3 tournaments for all ages, to put them well over their goal of $50,000 raised to fight cancer. They're already at over $42,000. That success means more to them than anything they've done on the court.
Actually, my grandfather was diagnosed with brain cancer, and he had to fight for about a year, and I just felt it was not my obligation, but I wanted to contribute to the whole cause.
We had a teammate pass away from brain cancer, so like it's just like deep in the heart. Like, you know, everyone knows somebody. Like, it's just something that's like common, and it just gotta stop.
Being on the Coaches versus Cancer committee, I love it. So much fun. I know that I'm like doing good, and like it feels good to give back, but it's also like the most rewarding thing that I've ever done.
Drew Markle is in the Game On studio. Drew, the SOL Continental race is coming down to the final stretch here. Handicap the race for us.
Well, Jeff, right now it's a 3-team race between North Penn, Penridge, and Quakertown. But with all the snow and all the delays and stuff, we're probably not going to get a good handle on this until Quakertown wrestles CB East on Monday night at East. East has 2 losses. That's probably going to be one too many. So my guess is between North Penn, Penridge, and Quakertown, you're going to have a tri-champion if Quakertown can beat East on Monday night in the Continental.
Okay. With league championships and districts just around the corner here, give me a couple of wrestlers that we should be looking out for.
Okay, a week from Saturday, we'll have our conference championship matches for the Suburban 1 League, the 3 of the American Conference, National, and Continental. You have to look at Penridge's Scott Parker, a 2-time state medalist who is, you know, he's up there again, determined to get it as a state title as a senior. Ben Salem's unbeaten Tommy Stokes has been to states. You know, I'm expecting him to make some noise. And also, let's not forget about Over William Tennant, 220-pounder Mark Isaac, who's also undefeated. He is very, you know, he wrestles like a little guy in a big guy's body. And that, when it comes tournament time, is something that people aren't used to seeing. He can also go a long way.
All right. And what would a wrestling discussion be with you if we didn't talk a little bit about some controversy here? We've got our District 12 wrestlers head up to the Lehigh Valley for the postseason, and I know you are not a big fan of that.
Now, they've been doing that for a couple of years now, sending the District 12 kids up to District 11, and the real reason that they're doing it is because when they sent District 12 where they should be, into District 11 for the Southeast Regional, because the District 12 schools border the District 1 schools, something they don't do with the District 11 schools, that obviously increased the size of the field. So it gave District 1 or the Southeast region 4 wrestlers in each weight class would go to Hershey. Well, the folks in District 3, which is the Hershey-Harrisburg area, they didn't care for that, because that way they were only getting 3 wrestlers to get to Hershey instead of the 4 that District 1 was getting. A solution? Well, we'll just ship District 12 up to the Lehigh Valley, you know, decrease the size of the District 1 tournament, the Southeast Regional, so that we're back to 3 wrestlers that get to go to Hershey, and District 3 gets its 4 to Hershey. So it's pretty much a crock, but that's the way they were able to do it. And, you know, is it right? No, it's absolutely wrong. District 12 should be back in District 1. Hopefully that will happen soon.
Sounds like something needs to be addressed pretty soon.
Absolutely.
All right, before I let you out of here, your top 5 wrestling teams in the area.
But look at Council Rock South, Jeff. They're seeded not to get to the state duels. They beat that seed. They finished 3rd. They go to the state duel tournament. They lost the other night, but still, the fact that they even got there, you know, just shows that they're starting to get everything going again there. So Council Rock South is the clear number 1. Germantown Academy number 2. North Penn, Penridge, and Quakertown go 3, 4, and 5. But again, once this Continental race gets a little clearer, come maybe Monday, you know, these teams could also switch up. So next week we should have a definitive list finally.
All right. Thanks, Drew. Council Rock South did have what some would consider to be a down year last year, but the Golden Hawks are certainly back, and as our Jen Wilgus reports, they are poised to run away with the SOL National Conference crown.
Dan Martaccio came into his senior season hungry to get back to Hershey, where he wrestled as a sophomore and placed 8th in the state. After watching his team come just a few points short of reaching the Giants Center, when Council Rock South fell to Wilson Westlawn on Tuesday in the PIAA dual prelims, the standout 126-pounder is even hungrier.
Especially after what just happened, I can't put it into words, you know, how bad I want to get back to Hershey, you know, and wrestle for that medal. So, I mean, maybe what happened here tonight is really a good thing, you know, so now we have the weekend off, and we can prepare for this upcoming postseason.
Council Rock South wasn't much of a factor in the postseason last year, but Martaccio and his teammates fought to reestablish their powerhouse reputation. Making it to the state duels was part of that.
We weren't ranked all year this year with some of the PIAA rankings and whatnot, and it doesn't bother us because we know how good we are, and we broke into the rankings this weekend after placing the district duels, and our kids just they know the mantra, they get what we do, and I think we're peaking at the right time. Our team came a long way this year. Definitely not upset. I'm very excited for the future for this team, especially now as we get into the individual postseason. This team's going to be very exciting.
I think that just goes to show we don't really have an off year. Even when the talent is down, we still work hard in the room, and I think the progress we've made from the beginning of the year till now, you can just see it.
Martaccio has his sights set on state hardware as an individual, but beyond that, he sees a bright future for his younger teammates.
With the talent this team has, for the next 5 or 6 years, they will be competing in every district duels. They will be competing to take first, and this is just the start of it.
We welcome Dan Duncan inside the Game On studio. Dan, district playoffs are right around the corner here. Who are some of the area teams that have a shot at some of the higher seeds come playoff time?
Well, Jeff, according to a source who really has a good handle on the district seeding process, the 4 overall top seeds likely are going to be Garnett Valley, Mount St. Joe's, Springford, and Upper Dublin. Now, locally, we could have 3, maybe as many as 4 or 5 of the top 8 to 10 seeds in district, led by Neshaminy and North Penn, CB West from that very tough Suburban 1 Continental League, and then maybe CB South and Abington.
Okay, those are the teams up at the top. Let's take a look at the bubble. Who are some of the teams that might be a stretch here to get in?
Well, definitive bubble team would be Council Rock South. They were nowhere 2 weeks ago. Monica Stolik has done a tremendous job with this team, and they've won 6 in a row, including Neshaminy's only league loss. They essentially need to run the table. They face a huge game with CR North this Friday that could really determine whether they make the playoffs or not. CR North, not that high above them on the bubble line, around 500 team. Can't afford too many more losses.
All right, I'm going to put you right on the spot here. Dark horse team or two from our area that has a chance to do something maybe nobody thought would.
Well, I've liked Abington all year. I've had my eye on them, and they're going to finish second in that league behind Neshaminy, who swept them. I still think Abington's one of the deepest teams in the entire area, the whole southeast Pennsylvania area I'm talking about. Deja Rawls, terrific playmaking guard, a lot of depth. Michael Harris, terrific post player. I look for them to be very dangerous. And then also from the Continental, Souderton. They play in a very tough league. Had a big win over CB West. They're a high-scoring team. They can easily get in the 60s. Bianca Picard, exactly the kind of player you want in a playoff setting. So I think they're going to make some noise as well.
All right. Some big news in the top 5. I understand we have a team moving up.
Well, I'm going to keep Archbishop Wood number 1. They had a humbling loss to Newman Goretti, which is no shame in that. But that's going to help them hit their reset button going forward into the playoffs. I moved North Penn up to number 2 by virtue of that very impressive 15-point win over CB West to clinch the Continental. And then I have CB West at 3rd, South at number 4, and Neshaminy number 5.
Thanks, Dan. One of the top female athletes in Neshaminy history is in the stretch run of her career. And as Jen Wilgus reports, Megan Schaefer is determined to go out with a bang.
Everything Neshaminy senior Megan Schaefer touches turns to gold. First, she and her Neshaminy soccer teammates went 25-0 and earned state championship medals in Hershey. And then the senior picked up another All-America honor and Courier Times Player of the Year award. Now, Schaefer is leading Neshaminy to a 2nd straight SOL National Basketball title.
We know what it takes to win, so there's no really secret because we know exactly what we have to do. We're just working hard, and it'll be easy. Yeah, last year we were the underdogs, and this year we do have a target, and I think it's awesome. It's just coming off of soccer, we were on that same target, and this year I think it's kind of cool just to prove to the other teams that we can go under pressure. We just are a run team, and we start off with defense, and we're not that big, but we have speed, and that's kind of what teams don't really overlook us. They don't realize that we can just run for hours because in practice, that's what our main focus is fitness, and we just don't stop.
Amid all the championships and awards, Schaefer has no trouble staying grounded, thanks in part to a 5-year-old girl she calls her hero.
My little 5-year-old cousin Mary, she just is really sick this past fall, and she's just been battling through a whole bunch of stuff, and just every day seeing her and go to all these hospitals, get a chop every Wednesday, and it just like when you're having a bad day, it just kind of think of her and saying you should just rub it off. In practice, you run a lot, you just got to run it through just because people are going through a lot worse than you.
Schaefer has committed to play soccer at Penn State University in the fall. She has 1 season left to make happy basketball memories for her and her school.
Everyone always asks me why you're still playing basketball, but I'm not going to be playing basketball anymore, so you might as well finish it off. And just winning the league and doing well in districts, going farther than we did last year, will be awesome.
Joining us now in the Game On studio is swimming reporter Karen Sangillo. Karen, the SOL National Conference race typically comes down to Pennsbury and Sierra North. Looks like it might happen again, but the Indians sure appear to be in the driver's seat here.
Absolutely, they are. This was such an exciting dual meet. Council Rock North ended up winning by only 5 points. It was so exciting to watch. A lot of it's very unusual for swimming to come down to strategy, but in this case, I think it really did. Council Rock North coach Brian Johnson placed Brandon McCready in the 200 freestyle. That's not a typical event for him, but I think that made all the difference in the meet.
All right, we'll turn to the SOL Continental race and a team that we always see up at the top, North Penn, both the boys and the girls, and it appears it's going to be them again.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. They are the 2 teams to beat in that conference. 2 powerhouse programs for as far back as anyone can remember. I don't know how they turned them out at North Penn, but they really do. And I think they're getting right to the point where they will be just hitting their stride at Suburbans. And that's going to set them up beautifully for what I expect to be a tremendous district meet from both programs.
All right, we're 2 weeks out from district diving, and the big question is William Tennett's Ian Forlini already sizing up his 4th district championship ring?
He very well could be, and with some justification. Ian really is a terrific diver. He's one of the best I've seen in all the years that I've been covering swimming. He will probably get some competition, though, in Liam Fitzgerald from Bayard Rustin. Liam was the runner-up last year, and he did give Ian a run for it. However, Ian has a lot of poise. He was an Olympic trial qualifier in 2012 as a 16-year-old. He is going to dive at Georgia next year, so I believe he will be able to pull this off.
Well, it certainly looks like Ian Forlini is a local athlete worth watching. Thanks, Karen. That'll do it for all of us here at the Game On studio. As always, we'd love to hear from you, our audience. You can reach us on Facebook and Twitter at HS Game On. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next Thursday.